Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world when you watch this. Depending on your location, you might be experiencing some very challenging, if not terrifying times because of government upheaval, terrorism, war, or horrible weather. On the other hand, you might be in a place enjoying freedom, experiencing financial prosperity, and enjoying really nice weather. But regardless, by the time this video airs, unless you've been living under a rock the size of Texas or are willfully and woefully ignorant of current events, you know about Charlie Kirk's assassination and martyrdom. You either celebrated his life and mourned the loss of a key political, social, and religious family man and patriot, or you celebrated the death and cheered the loss of the same. The only other reasonable option is that you simply didn't care or you didn't pay attention. But on September 10th, 2025, a Christian young man of only 31 years of age, a man with a huge following of young people, a man at the age of 19 who started a global organization, a man who had on speed dial multiple world leaders in politics, business, and faith, was gunned down in public by another young man controlled by hate and a servant of evil. And because of what Charlie Kirk stood for and spoke out for, and because of his untainted character and sincere, motivating faith, even his opponents and rivals admitted they were drawn amidst the circumstances of his death and the following memorials. They felt drawn to the very person of Jesus Christ. What is now happening, to the shock and awe of all whose eyes are open, is what could be labeled as nothing short of a great awakening. And even greater, not just in America, but the whole world. What Satan surely meant for evil, thinking he could silence a movement by silencing its leader, God meant for good. A good so good that Satan himself must be going back to the drawing board to reassess the effectiveness of his wily schemes. What we are now seeing is that the death of this one man, along with the events that followed, all ringing with love, forgiveness, and hope, has stirred what has been dormant and awakened that which was dead. Those who have left the faith are coming back, buying Bibles again, and recommitting their lives to Christ. There are atheists, Muslims, activists, and sinners of all stripes and colors chanting, "We are Charlie, we are Charlie," and posting social media videos of them going back or going for the first time to church. Folks, what we are seeing, I believe, is possibly the last great awakening before the return of Jesus Christ. We could be living in the last of the last days. There seems to be a genuine pouring out of the Spirit all over the world, and it started with this one event. But what now is the role of the church? What should preachers and pastors be doing right now? Well, first of all, you should be following the will of Jesus Christ, the head of the church. You shouldn't be affected by every fad that comes along, nor should you compromise for the sake of numbers. But fad or not, numbers don't lie. Personal testimonies videoed and posted online for all to see don't lie. I mean, they could, but it's highly unlikely. Atheists, agnostics, the rebellious, the backslidden, the deconverted, trans people, gays and lesbians, even Muslims are flooding social media with their conversion stories, plans, and confessions to seeing how the reality of evil has led them to want to seek the truth about God and the Jesus Charlie Kirk talked about. Yet what will await them when they start streaming through our church doors? What will they hear from the pulpit? Will it be ranting and raving over non-essentials? What will they receive from the pews? Scowling looks, fake smiles, judgmental attitudes, self-righteousness, disgust? Or maybe in a prayer meeting, they'll hear about a God who gets prayed to all the time, day after day, decade after decade, yet never provides or heals. I can tell you what they need to hear. I can tell you what they have expressed a desire to hear. I can tell you what it was about Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk that led to the largest ever one-week surge in religious posts and conversations. It's been Jesus. It's been about Jesus the whole time. As others have commented, many are just coming to learn about Charlie Kirk's work and all that he has done to promote freedom. But it's always the why that shocks people. He did everything for Jesus. Jesus was his why. Jesus is who we should be preaching and teaching and singing about. Jesus is who we should be praising. Jesus should be the reason for our testimonies. Jesus should be the source of our joy and the reason for living another day. He should be the reason for our peace, and he should be the reason we preach or teach anything. I understand. I get it. So many of you have been avoiding outright evangelism and have been hoping instead for the lost to come walking through your doors. But are you ready? Understand this, church, that when you block the way, when you act all religious and proper and pick at all the strange things, when you keep Jesus from a young person with purple hair and face tattoos, or a same-sex couple, or a trans individual, you're not just making Jesus look bad, but you are not suffering the little children to come unto him. Take that route, and he will have a millstone ready with your name on it. Pastor, don't be afraid to listen to the Holy Spirit. Don't insist on that exegetical study through Leviticus unless in each sermon you can clearly point to Jesus Christ. Yes, we need to learn. We need to eat the meat of the Word. But keep a lookout for new faces, even unusual faces, that know nothing more of Jesus than his name. Be ready to preach Jesus in simple yet powerful ways, even if it disrupts your liturgical calendar. Pastor, we don't need a social gospel. We need a saving gospel, a life-changing gospel. And brother, having pastored for 14 years myself, may I suggest starting with praises during your midweek prayer service? Then allow only as many prayer requests as there are praises for God's goodness or answers to prayers. Otherwise, what is the first-time visitor to church supposed to think? God is alive. He hears us. And yes, he does answer prayer. Jesus is alive. The Holy Spirit is real. God really does love us, else he would not have sent his own Son to die in our place so that we could spend an eternity with him. Preach truth, preach the way, preach the life. Just make sure the way, the truth, and the life are all personal names and capitalized, because people are coming. They've as much as promised us they would. They are looking to find out about that Jesus Charlie Kirk knew and gave his life for. And they're serious. Let's not disappoint them. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you would be so kind. And I'll look forward to seeing you again real soon right here on The Humble Word. God bless.